significantly
All right,
less
we're good. We're live.
labor.
We're on Facebook. Okay, let's get started. Well, welcome everyone. Today we are putting together a mastermind of all really great friends of mine. We all used to work together at Climb, but this really unique group are all younger agents that are also investors and building wealth through different businesses. So why don't we just do a quick intro? Let's start with Brian.
Hey guys, I'm Brian TRAN, San Francisco Compass, and
Is that virtual background, Brian?
no man, this is my garage. This is my garage. This is my car, my motivation. This is why we invest. This is why we work hard, so that we can not only have passive income, predictable income, and a good lifestyle, right? Because real estate sales it can be very tiring, I think, and working and living off a commission is really, I mean, it is tough. It's good when it's good, but I can say that even my best months when I was making so much money, I never felt secure. So, that's where that is. But again, I'm Brian Tran. I started off as a real estate agent with Kenny all the way back in Oakland. I started out in Oakland, in 2013, and slowly took that real estate money and started opening up cafes, coffees, lattes. Sold my first cafe, got back into real estate, but then in San Francisco. And then from there, I ended up, I co-founded Rise and Grind Coffee House. We now have 2 locations in San Francisco, one in the Mission, one in the Richmond next to Golden Gate Park. Co-founder of the VA Hub. We source virtual assistants for real estate agents like you guys, so that you guys can help with the prospecting and the
How many VAs you guys got right now?
We now employ 100, and it went down. We had a couple of suspended accounts, but 157 or 158 VAs.
Nice.
Right. So we got that, and and last but not least, I did not forget we are in real estate. So my partners and I, we manage and own about 6 units, and in my house here.
Awesome. Krista, why don't you take us off? What is it that you do, where you're from, and what type of investments do you do?
My name is Crystal Florida. I'm a real estate agent with Compass as well in the Oakland, Berkeley location. So same, I kind of got into real estate and wanted to invest initially. So my first year, I was living at home, saved up, and was able to partner in my first flip. Probably after selling my 5th house. And
how many flips have you done?
Since that one, I've been a part of 10 flips in the last 6 years. And then I got more into wanting to buy and hold a couple years ago. So I just got my second rental property last year and did a pretty cool little BRRRR with that: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat eventually. Not yet.
Awesome. And then the house you have, I know you've been working on this really nice house for half a year now. And do you have an ADU, or are you doing an Airbnb in that place, or what?
Yeah, so I'm living in an REO that I bought last year. That was another really big project for me over the last several months. All you guys have seen.
Eventually.
Yeah, so it was basically a 2-story house. I made it a 3-story house, have a living space downstairs. We're renting out to my soon-to-be brother-in-law, and we also have a lot of potential for the backyard to build 2 more units back there.
Awesome. Jerry, you're up.
I am a Compass agent.
Wait, from a show of hands, who here is not at Compass?
Just you, Kenny. Just you.
Just Kenny. Just Kenny. So I was with Kenny at Climb. That's how we all know each other. Oakland, Compass, and I started door knocking. My mentors actually own multi units, so I do own a few doors in Oakland now, and I've done flips with my partners anywhere from Vallejo out here to Oakland. I actually have done with Crystal as well, kind of a partner there. So yeah, that's Jerry.
Ken, you're up.
I'm also an agent at Compass Oakland. Also used to be at Climb as well, where I met all these guys. I used to flip homes, but kind of taken a backseat on that right now since things are a little tough. I own a I co-own a duplex in West Oakland that we're going to subdivide and build 3 townhouses, and now just actively focused on trying to build a multi-unit portfolio.
Hey, so Kenny, so I mean, I love all you guys. So I got so much questions. Can we just start firing off and
Yeah, let's
start
go for
asking
it.
questions? Awesome. Crystal, so I mean, I know Ken and I talked about this one. So your construction costs right now, I mean, are you kind of basing it on, have you seen it gone down a little bit or up? I know, because it's been going crazy, but like, I know you got real connections. Yeah, like.
Have I seen them go down?
No. You know, like sorta right now, right? Like, are you paying your workers a little less?
It's funny because a couple of the guys that I work with literally asked for a raise a week before the SIP order, and they got it.
Are you paying them per project, or are they on your payroll?
I have some guys on payroll, but most people I sent out. And one of my subs got a little more expensive too. He's been pricing out projects for us, the plumber, like sewer laterals and stuff, and it's not getting cheaper. I don't see costs getting cheaper.
Well, what's the rough estimate of rehabbing per square foot and developing? Like, what ranges are you seeing right now?
Ground up, we got quotes from anywhere from 300 something to 500 square foot, depending on how you spec it out. Which doesn't make a lot of sense when you only can sell for 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm building out, my brother and I are building out our ADU in one of the back of our rentals. It has a big lot. I beat them up. These guys, they do a lot of work for me too. They built out my second shop. I send them a lot of business and all that stuff. So I got them down to about, rough was about 200, right? And then I'm probably looking at another, if I factor in my finished cost, but it's a rental. So it's not going to be like, I'm not putting in wide plank oak and all that stuff, $5, $6 a square foot. It's going to be cheap. So I'm probably going to be in at about 250,000 with all permit fees and everything like that. So I thought I got a pretty good deal off of 800 square feet. So, I mean, when you break that down, it's pretty bad, but $312.
That's about right.
But you can't get away from the fees in Oakland. They just keep charging you, you know? So the fees alone were already pretty damn up there. So, but it's okay. 312,000 to make. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. 312 to make about, I'm gonna conservatively say, I don't know what SIP rental prices are right now in Oakland. I gotta look again, but easily 2100, 2150. So if you do the cap rate on that, I mean, in a good neighborhood, you're not gonna be able to find that. So I'm still building. I'll still put stuff into my backyard.
Are you guys building any projects right now? What projects are you guys working on right now, Ken or Jerry or Crystal?
I'm resubmitting my project to the city of Oakland, and we may end up JVing with a contractor who can get us construction for under 300 a foot. But that's it.
You've had that project for like over a year now, right? 2 years?
I've owned that thing for many years.
What's going on? Like, why wasn't action taken earlier? Were you timing the market?
Tenants, squatters, construction costs, everything.
Yeah, wait for the prices to come down. Just keep everything. Just yeah.
It's all right. I mean, we were cash flowing like $1,000 a month, so it didn't hurt us to wait.
Oh. So that's another thing, right? Like when you cash flow, what are you guys looking at? Like, cause I'm pretty aggressive. Like I won't buy a property that's cap rate, with a cap rate of 6%, right? If I have to put down, even if I buy $1 million property, I put out 200 grand, 6% just doesn't cut it for me, right? So if we're gonna talk about investment, what are you guys looking at? And Crystal, Burr, I'm all for Burr, but I can't find Burr properties. I don't get I don't see a lot of them in where I want to invest. I mean, you can see some Burr properties like in the hood, but I don't want to be in the hood. I don't want to drive this in the hood.
That's where they are. They're in the hood.
I don't want to drive any of my cars.
That's why you have a Prius on the side too. You can't drive a car.
I don't want to drive that in the hood either.
Well, I personally have been seeing the last several years the best returns in the hood or the less desirable areas or the lower income areas. Higher income areas, yeah, the cap rates are lower. You probably have longer term tenants too, but you never know.
Have any of you guys ever like looked into out of state investing?
I had a
Georgia.
duplex in Austin, Texas that I sold
Ooh.
last year.
You do well.
I didn't lose money. I bought it because a few years ago I was like, I really want to own like a multifamily, and I was like, I can't afford to buy one in the Bay Area. And I went to Austin for a bachelorette, and I was like, this place is pretty cool and hip. I could see, you know, more jobs coming here. It's already like a little tech hub in itself. So yeah, I bought a duplex for $295, like 2.5, 3 years ago, and it was cash flowing like $500 a month for me, and sold it last year.
How much down did you have to put down?
I had to put 10% down.
Oh man, see now
Yeah.
I can do that. $24,000. You probably ended like 30 or something like that. Because
Yeah.
all the
I was in like 30. I sold it for $315 last year. I made like $5,000, and plus, you know,
So
I kind of pretty
like
much broke even with taxes in Texas. Taxes are
6,000. You were making 6,000 a year divided by, you put out $30,000. That's a 20% cash on cash return. I'd do that.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. But then I was like, I really want to make at least $1,000 a month. So that's why I sold that and bought something in Fruitville in Oakland.
Oh dang, yeah, Fruitville's good. That's where we have some of our properties.
That's not that bad, right? It's not.
No, but Fruitville's not the hood. You know, when I think of the hood, I'm thinking like about 105th,
You're thinking about the
103rd.
Coliseum.
Yeah, Coliseum.
Do you guys still see opportunities in those markets? I see prices in Oakland appreciating in the deeper East Oakland just because the BRT system is coming in.
Yeah.
With the 23 bus stops on MacArthur, which will help connect, you know, make it easier for people to get to work from that deeper East Oakland. Would you guys invest over there? Do you think?
My property is on 46, so it's not too far away from that. And
880 side or 580 side, MacArthur?
MacArthur.
MacArthur? Okay.
Yeah. So mine I bought in litigation, and I'm not sure it's because it's close to that, but because I bought in litigation, I was paying my tenants rent, 3 of my tenants rent, for about 4 months. And once everything was habitable, I want to say it went from 635 to 720 easily. And then for me, my goal is, mine's a long-term plan. I'm not cash flowing that much off this, but as soon as I'm able to turn these rents around, then I'll go ahead and exchange into hopefully a commercial building, 5 units or up.
I think you touched on something that is so powerful when we talk about goals in real estate or goals in investments, right? Because of investments usually don't pay out big. Like, you know, how often can you buy a property that's going to cash flow enough for you to survive in the Bay Area, right? So let's go down each person. So, I mean, my thing is Jerry, Crystal, Ken, Kenny, and then myself. So what are your goals in terms of investment for the next 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year? Like, where do you guys want to be with passive income? Like, so we ain't got to sell commission and start selling, door knocking.
It's all about the out of state just because we're making more. But I mean, for my 1 year plan, my brought an opportunity to me. It's a 5-unit building, and it won't be on the market, so I'll probably get into it for $1,025,000. That's my goal, but I have to sell my 4-unit. So that was my plan this year prior to COVID.
Yeah.
So that's what.
How much do you want to make a month?
Realistically, I would like to make $20,000 a month.
Okay.
20,000 in the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's a lot of doors. That's a lot of paid off doors.
But that will be me being able to invest. I'll be looking in Arizona.
Okay. You know who you should talk to? Michaela. She has a couple houses out there.
I'm using her agent.
Yeah. 20,000 next 5 years, really doable. All right, Crystal, you're up. Well, hold on. So 20,000 in the next 5 years means you got to make 4,000 a month this year, and then add 4,000 every year until you hit that 20,000. I'm gonna hold you accountable. I'm gonna write that down.
Because I've been working with a partner of 3, so this upcoming year it's just gonna be me.
Yeah.
So I think I can do it.
Partners are okay. You know, I got partners in all my real estate because then, you know, you got to I mean, you want to work with them and know, you know, they're mostly family. We know how we work. But of course, you know, sometimes they leverage my income so we can qualify for the loan. Sometimes we are able to buy a better building because you can pull more down payment together, right? Because together I can only buy like the hood. I don't want to be in the hood. I already said that. So it's like, you know, we put money together, we can buy something a little nicer. We can grow a little faster. But you know, you just got to know how responsible they are and then the people they are. But definitely, yeah, have some stuff on your own. But you know, with me, I got to get that quicker. I know we got to get to me next, but we got to get fast. But Crystal, you're what's the goal? What's the passive income goal, and how fast do you want to get there?
My goal is like 25,000 a month, maybe 20.
By when?
3 to 5 years. Yeah,
All right.
3 to 5 years. So my current rental property in Fruitville, I'm getting $3,000 a month, positive. And I've got this additional space that I plan on building out because it's already enclosed. Should produce another $2,000 a month. So that'll be $5,000 right there. And then in a couple years, I want to build a duplex in my backyard here.
You have that much room in your backyard of your house?
Yeah, my lot's like 7,000 square feet.
Whew.
Sorry, they're working on my fireplace. Guys, can you hold on? All right, so
You got hard workers, Crystal. It's 5:20 in the afternoon. You got them working.
They're messing with me right now. All right, so yeah, I want to get this duplex built, and I'll get a lot closer to 20,000 a month by the time I get that built. Maybe I'll need another property.
Perfect. Ken, hit us.
I want to get
bigger.
My goal was always to get to 100,000 in 10 years. And like, I've told myself, I'm going to work hard in real estate for the next 10 years, make as much money as I can and put it into multi-units. And in 10 years, I could partially retire.
100,000 in 10 years a month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I love it. 10 years?
So I'm in 10 years.
How you
buy a bunch of
That's a lot.
Huh?
That's a lot. That's hard to spend $100,000 a month.
You know, the thing is, like, you have to set big goals, right? Like, it's not impossible. But if I set a goal of 100 and I got to 75, that's not too bad. If I got to 50, that's still good.
No, you're gonna hit 100, Ken. You will hit 100. But it's crazy. Like, I think each and every one of us is, you know, to be able to talk about this amount of number, like this, you know, that's $100,000 a month is what people make a year, right? Some people don't even make that a year. And none of us grew up in this background where our parents did it. None of us have trust funds. None of us have, you know, nobody taught us how to dream big. And I, you know, maybe we could talk about that later with our viewers. I don't know if any questions about that, but it's like, I mean, we all grew up actually in Oakland. Jerry's Pittsburgh, but Crystal's
Danville.
I grew up in Danville and Tracy.
but you're in Oakland now.
But I'm in Oakland now.
Yeah. So it's like, man, this is like, it's so exciting to hear. Like, I'm on a panel with people who grew up from humble beginnings, and then now we're talking about 20 grand, 100 grand, 50 grand. You know, it's crazy to me. So that's amazing. But Ken, 100 grand in 10 years. So that's a lot of properties. You got to buy a lot, and you got to buy them for good deals.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm
you know what though? There's a lot of
properties with you.
Let's do it, man. There's a lot of upside in these properties. It's like, you got to be patient. I'm not so much worried about cash flow today because I don't need the cash flow today. But if I can get the cash flow 5 years from now, then that's fine with me.
You know,
so I'm buying with upside in mind.
Yeah.
I want to hear from Kenny on this topic.
So I'm the moderator here today and not a panelist because I don't own investment properties.
Why is that?
I've been hyper-focused on building my team and my brand. And right now I have 17 agents, onboarding 4 because I'm at EXP, not Compass. So every agent I bring on residual should be able to make a couple grand a year. So ideally I would like to be bringing in about 25, 30 grand residual a year. A month, because I think that's all I really need to have a good life. I mean, my mortgage is like $4 or $5 grand. The car is like $1,000. Outside of that, like everything else is just extra, and you could travel the world for pretty cheap. So I'm kind of like Ken. I'm planning to work really, really hard for the next 10 years, and I think that's a wrap. I don't need to work that much afterwards. And also, as real estate agents, commissions are getting depressed. People are moving employees. There's discount agents, so I don't think real estate as a real estate agent is going to be very profitable for most agents in a long time. So I'm thinking super long term and trying to see what my best use of time is, and it has been doing these webinars to attract a lot of talent. So that's kind of my thing. So as a moderator for an investor group, I'm just moderating. You guys are panelists.
Nice, but to your point, I mean, long term, yeah. I mean, I think being an agent as well is a means to an end for me. Be an investor full time.
I agree.
And
I
Brian,
mean, I'm not going to get out of the business, but that's why, we're definitely building up a solid team, bringing up newer agents, so that, I guess you could say our group name will always be there. But as far as like going out and putting people in my car and driving around, it is, I got a kid, so he got to be,
man.
Yeah. Ken, you know it. We got to be home. I got to wake up, put on his diaper, get him to school, and then be home, make sure I want to be there for them. You know what I mean? I don't want to work all the time. And I think being an agent takes up, if you want to do really well, it's with the exception of Kenny, everybody I know who does big numbers, they gotta frickin' be hand holding like crazy, or involved and with the transaction and all that stuff. And yeah, so definitely that's why we focus on the investment aspect. But I think with it's funny that I brought this up because I've been working on this number for every year, and I think this year my goal was 20,000, and I was set to hit that number. But I invest in different things, right? So I have the VA Hub, which is my virtual assistant company, brings in X amount, and then real estate rentals bring in a certain amount. My 2 coffee shops are my 2 also very big earners. And this month we were supposed to hit 20 grand in my pocket in 2020, but COVID-19 happened, and so now I'm actually losing money.
Here's a question. So with COVID, like things are changing. They won't ever be the same. Like, then what type of investment opportunities do you see in the future, and what type of investment properties do you think are gone? Like the prices. We had a mastermind yesterday. 15 agents and 1 lender in the entire Bay Area, all the way to Santa Clara, Contra Costa. And then majority said that prices are going to dip this year. I had 2 calls this morning with sellers. I told them I think prices will dip 3 to 5%. So what type of, how would that affect your investment game?
I think there's going to be some up.
Go ahead, Ken. Well, the biggest thing right now is like, rentals are probably the safest bet, right? They're assuming that your renters are paying, right? And they're not doing that whole forbearance crap with you. It's safe. But here's the thing. For example, if I didn't have a high equity position in 2 of our properties, we were in the process of evicting 2 tenants, right? And we were almost done. COVID-19 kicked in. I can't evict them anymore. They're not paying rent. I'm losing $3,600 a month right now. But the thing is, my mortgage are low on those properties. So in that case, I can weather it out. I'll be okay. I'm not losing. I'm still making a little bit over there. But if I was highly leveraged and I bought these property for high and I only put 20% down, I'd be shelling out more money over there. So I think if you ask, is there opportunity? It's really difficult to say because your personal financial is going to be a big part of it, right? And Ken's not buying for cash flow, but the problem with not buying for cash flow is if you're already breaking even, you don't have room for for vacancies or repairs. And I don't know if Ken's factoring that in, and maybe he's giving us a different number, but things need to be repaired. And so that's why cash flow is very important, because it helps smooth out the bumps. You know what I mean?
No, when I say I'm not buying for cash flow, I mean I don't need $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. If I can make a few $100,000, $2,000 a month, it's fine for the time being, as long as there's upside.
Right.
I was gonna say that I think like all of this, there may be opportunities from this because everyone knows that like the multi-unit market, especially like 2 to 4 units, has been really, really tight the last few years. But if you have all these existing owners and their tenants aren't paying rent because they don't have to for the next 3 months, a lot of these owners aren't in a position to carry that. Even if they've owned the property for a long time, a lot of them have mortgages, they're on fixed income, whatever. This may push a lot of owners out of the rental market. And you may see properties come on the market where they're motivated to sell. And someone's gonna have to come in and realize that you're not gonna collect rent for a few months from these people. And you may never collect rent from these people. And so you need someone in a stronger position. So that opens up the opportunity for investors. I'm gonna look for stuff like that.
How do you guys feel like over, more Herman Chan on Facebook asks, how do you guys feel about increasing anti-landlord sentiment, regulation, rent control, and eviction control? We have a heavy dose of that in Oakland and Berkeley.
I'm not afraid.
Yeah,
it comes with the territory. I mean, you want to buy a property in like a premier market, you're gonna have to deal with it. Talk to attorneys, know what you're getting into, be ready. And the returns will be there. The price appreciation in like San Francisco Bay Area is like unlike anywhere else. You're not going to get that in like Arizona or, Midwest or whatever.
The new tenant laws didn't really change too much in Oakland, Berkeley, San Francisco for the state. We already have really strict, laws here, so that trumped the state law anyways. I think there's going to be more opportunities on a side note in commercial. I was talking to my neighbor who happens to be a commercial real estate agent, and he was saying they're already seeing drops, like significant drops in pricing, which makes sense because a lot of these business owners are not paying rent. And like you said, Ken, I mean, some people have had shopping centers for a while, weren't expecting 80% of their businesses to not pay rent 1 month or, a few months. And they can't afford to do that for too long.
Have any of you guys been to court before for landlord-tenant issues?
No.
Pretty close.
Yeah, no, we used to do the eviction process ourselves like a while back then, but now it's like, you trying to save $1,500 in legal fees? Screw it, pay somebody.
Not worth it.
You know what I mean? Yeah. This is way back when, so now it's like, nah.
Yeah, we have our attorney. We just defer to our attorney.
So for you guys that have properties, are you doing the property management yourself? And do you see any pros or who should hire property managers and what kind of people should just manage it themselves?
I did it myself for my property just because I wanted to learn, because if I don't learn, the ins and outs of what I'm doing, I can't hire somebody because I put myself in a position to get taken advantage of.
Yeah, I'm managing my properties. I think us as realtors, though, if we're only managing, a handful of doors, it's doable for us because we have contacts. We're all investors. We all have handymen. We all know contractors to come and, take care of things in a timely manner.
Yeah, if you're in real estate, you should just handle it yourself. It just makes sense. You're already actively in the business. If you're busy, working a 9 to 5, then maybe just hire someone.
Yeah.
Do you guys do property management for any of your clients? And like without name, like I don't know, you can drop names, but if people ask you for recommendations, who do you usually go to, or what do you recommend?
I have someone that I send my clients to, depending on the area. Like Oakland, Berkeley, we have someone. They only do property management. They don't sell. So if my clients ever sell, they come back.
I could use a good property management company to refer people to.
Go, Brian.
I mean, I worked with a handful of them, and they're pretty bad. I've never seen a property management company that is like really on top of it. I mean, everything that goes wrong, you still have to pay a bunch of money, right? Like they don't source the best people sometimes, and then on top of it, like, for example, one of the cafe one of the property management that runs the cafe that my coffee shop's in. This guy doesn't even know like when I short him money. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't do it on purpose. Our lease is up on like August. I'm sorry. The date that the rent's supposed to go up 3%, right, is August. I forget. I write a check, the same check, because I assume January, right? I got all these bills. I'm writing checks. The guy doesn't even catch it. You know what I mean? And then I go and I'm like, oh, my bad. I owe you now. I'll pay the difference. But like, cause I want to be on the good guy's side when we renew the lease. But yeah, he doesn't even know. So I don't know. These guys who manage it, they pretty terrible, man. So Ken, give me your guy.
I mean, I got you. And there's also like, there's all these apps now, right? Like, I mean, it's one thing to like collect rent and communicate with your tenants, and it's another ththing to send someone out to like fix a toilet or whatever. But there's like Cozy, there's Buildium, and like all these apps you can, manage, you get like a breakdown of your costs and how much money you're making and all this stuff. So, I mean, I don't think you need to hire someone if you're up for it.
Yeah. Any questions from the chat? Anybody, any questions? I haven't been checking. Have you guys been checking?
No, we just got a lot of viewers. Mind, MYND, is a pretty big property management company. I think they're managing 3,000 doors. They acquired other property management companies. They have like a 5% program, 6% program, 7% program. The 7% program has something because they could do this at scale. I thought it was pretty interesting. They have kind of like insurance, but tenant protection. They will pay your month of rent if a tenant decides to leave and is vacant. And they will also pay, for, I think, the eviction costs too, if you run into issues, but you're paying a 1% premium on that. So that's who I'm usually recommending for newer investors. It just seems like a safer route. But there were, prior, we were sending a lot of new landlords to the property management team at KENNETH Real Estate, and they're doing really well there. Jody Cox and Elizabeth Kim, and I know Jody Cox just recently went to Caldecott Properties because they still have a property managing arm over there.
Jody, I forgot about her.
I still send you Jody.
Forgot
You
about
want the
it.
agents too. If you send a property manager, you want to send to one that doesn't sell because you don't want them capturing your client. Most property management companies will either sign a contract with you and just or something to let you know that, hey, when this person is ready to sell, they're gonna be handed back off to you. So that's your client. But there are some people that out there that might end up stealing your client.
No, they won't. No, they won't. Oh man.
What is Lapham?
Lapham is they've been around for a while. They're a property management company in Oakland, so I've seen a lot of stuff. And a couple of their agents also sell real estate. Gabrielle that said that maybe can confirm. But I think 2 of my past clients worked with them, and they had good experiences.
Nice.
All right, let's get some Q&A in the audience from either Facebook or Zoom.
Scott, ask us a question.
Scott's our coach, or Mining Crystal's coach.
Oh, nice.
Jared, do you have any questions?
Someone asks, ideally, how would you acquire your next rental?
I think exactly like what Ken said. You go find somebody who is in trouble, right? And you're going to help them. I'm not saying you're going to steal the property from them, but you're going to help them, and you're going to establish a deal that is beneficial for them and beneficial for you. That's how you're going to do it. People in need.
I think we're going to start seeing that a lot. Someone had brought it up earlier in a mastermind last week. With tenants not paying the rents on like a multi-unit or single family house, even in the market, the shelter gets pulled, they're going back to work. They might not be able to make payments. And a lot of times the owner can't make payments. So we might start seeing like a lot of foreclosures restart happening next year, or if they don't just flat out sell. It really depends on the amount of equity that they have.
Yeah, I said that before.
I mean, do you guys see the foreclosure market? I mean, I don't think I think I've been in business the longest here, around 10 years. Most of you guys are 4 or 5 years, right? So none of us have seen the market shift.
I think most of us got in around 2013 since the market just
okay. So you guys haven't sold too many REOs and short sales then, so we'll leave that.
Only a handful, but I mean foreclosures are at like an all-time low. I think they're gonna go up. It's still gonna probably be really low though. It's like below 10%.
Yeah, there's some equity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent out an email. Yeah.
I got that email, Kenny. It was really good.
Yeah, I sent out an email today. I'll share with the audience, but it was from KCM blog. I just did new graphics on it. But the email I'm looking at right now, I'll do a screen share. Let me see. The email that I'm looking at right now shows that I'm not sure you guys know, but in the last 5 recessions, outside of 2 recessions, I think one of them only dipped like 2% in prices, and the last one dipped quite a bit. But in the last 5 recessions, home prices have still continued to go up in a recession. And then this number at the end, this is a pretty big deal. Before the last crash, prices are kind of close to where they were at before. We surpassed that by a little bit. If you look at 2005, 2006, 2007, the people pulled out this 200 to 300 grand and $1 billion in equity. Right now, that's only a fraction of that. So many people are still pretty safe without taking crazy loans from their house. And then here, the best number here is 37% of homes in the US are free and clear. So like, they don't have any payments on it. So market tanks, the prices dip 10%. They're not really affected unless they want to sell. And then at least 53% of homes have 50% equity. So, we've been on this roller coaster ride up, double digits or now like, 5% a year, but so it needs to actually come down. So I think it's healthy that the market is dipping, but it's not, boom and bust. It's just gradual up and down. And I think we've been waiting for this to happen for like 10 years now. The prices have only been up for 10 years straight.
I think if anything, if this pandemic is going to do anything, it's going to cause a lot of headaches for landlords and building owners and people who are, maybe not very good at this or getting to that age. And that's where the opportunity is going to be. It's the headaches. Whenever there's a headache, you just want to, through my experience, I just want to be like, dude, just cure my headache. Just take it off my hand, right? And I'm not saying you're going to steal it, but you're going to be able to help them and get a better price. So that's the opportunity that I see that's going to come from this market. It's a lot of headache because you got to imagine all these guys who owe, let's say they're owed 2-3 months, like you got to go collect. I mean, I back in the days, I used to have to go and collect like $100 this week, $50 tomorrow, $100 next week. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just annoying. So that's probably when people are going to sell.
Where do you guys see prices heading? Because we're waiting for opportunities. And when's a good time to strike? Are you going to keep waiting till it drops and drops and drops, or if you see the right property, you'll strike?
I think,
right property, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's going to be opportunities in a current market. There's really not too many deals right now on the market.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting multiple offers. That's a fixer or an investment property. But in like a month or two, I don't know why, but a lot of people think something's going to happen in a month or two.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
How do you guys feel about owners or investors who own Airbnb? Do you think there's an opportunity there? I say Airbnb and investors that own single family homes.
I feel bad for them. I hear they're losing a lot of money right now. But if you already have a furnished place, there's like traveling nurses, there's other short-term like rentals that you could still do with a fully furnished home. But traveling nurses, obviously there's a demand for that right now.
I think they're going to take a hit because, we're technically kind of like on staycations right now, and we just came back from, the holiday season. I don't think people are really going to be taking many vacations for next half year to a year, and money's tight too, so they got to be very careful.
Is there an opportunity there though? I would say don't buy. You can buy a house, but most of those Airbnbs, they go in and they add a bunch of rooms and stuff like that. So, I would still buy it if the lot is big enough, like Crystal's house, and I can build something in the back or add another structure. I'm not a big fan of the Airbnb method. I made a good amount of money doing it in 2013, 14 when it just started, but it's not it's tiring. You know, it's another job.
Work, right?
You know, and I don't want to buy myself another job. You know, I'm here to buy myself financial freedom. And doing that, yeah, you can make a lot of money, but damn, it's
I'll plug Go Property Hub. Evan Wynn at Keller Williams in Silicon City. He runs an Airbnb management company that does everything from everything for you. And then they do charge. I think they charge 25% on
the gross.
Airbnb. Yeah, but the stats, at least the stats. I have our video. I'll probably just upload it to YouTube.
Yeah.
But the statistic they had was on average the owners are netting actually 25% a month. So really it's 50% more, and then they keep 25. But I'm in the same boat. I wouldn't manage Airbnb. I don't want to be cleaning sheets and coordinating that, and it just sounds like a headache.
I mean, you're not the one cleaning the sheets. You got the people to do it, but definitely like, it's I'd rather just put a flip tenant. Yeah.
I managed one. I had like a flip, title issues, wasn't able to sell it, had to Airbnb it out for 6 months. I was over there cleaning it myself twice because it's hard to get a house cleaner last minute sometimes. I mean, I had 2 house cleaners I was rotating back and forth, but there was twice where we couldn't get them out in time and had a guest coming later that day, so had to go over there and clean.
Yeah, I managed one, and I had going over there and people were still cooking when it's time to check out, and then on the other side.
I want to hear more horror stories. Some of your worst experience as an investor, and what some people can expect.
All right, when I used to run an Airbnb, I ran 13 rooms on top of my first cafe on O'Farrell. I didn't know SF very well, but O'Farrell is a cutoff between Tenderloin and Nob Hill. They call it Tender Knob. But you get a lot of crackheads, you get a lot of hookers, you get a lot of nasty stuff, right? Break-ins, all that stuff, random. But the thing is that a couple of the rooms were not, the Airbnb rooms are nice, but there's a couple of rooms that were, they were long-term. They were been there forever. Old people, old folks, right? Old folks, crazy folks. For whatever reason, they were so mad at the landlord, the old landlord, not the new one, but they would like spiteful. They used to shove socks down the toilet and smear poop everywhere. And so one day, like the horror stories, I cleaned that shit on the wall, man. Like there's shit everywhere, like shit all overflowing. Everything was all over the place. So like, I mean, imagine the movies where you walked in, it was like, yeah, I cleaned that. And because I had guests in the other rooms and I need to clean it because you can't get a bad review. Like, can you imagine like the guest review be like, I give this guy 1 star because I walked into the bathroom, there was shit everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about everywhere. So yeah, man, never again. That's what I think that scarred me from Airbnb. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. And then also, if you're gonna do Airbnb, it can't just be one place. It can't just be one house or something like that. I think Go Property Hop, the reason why they're able to do it and keep the cleaners on a full payroll and stuff is they got a lot of units, right? And that's the only way you're gonna be able to do it. Otherwise, you're right. You will be the one going in there, changing the sheets occasionally and cleaning up after people.
Jerry, I know you got a ton of horror stories.
Horror story. Sherry just asked a question, but yeah, I mean the house that I was just over there. I mean, I just came from. We're not buying that one. We were thinking about it, but the first day I put it on the market, I don't know how this happened, but you walk into the door and someone's shit in the front room. And it's always shit, right?
Always, man.
Someone shit in the front room, and you have to go over there and take care of it. And when you buy a property and hold it, things like that happen, and you kind of get used to it and roll with the punches. And then today, it's just my listing, but somebody moved in, had a mattress and everything to live with. So it's not the first time, and it won't be the last time.
Yep, lots of those.
My worst one was with Jerry Longfellow. We've told you about this one, but like literally it smelled like pee and poop. And every single time I would leave that house, like the stench was just still on me. And it was in my car. And it was just like, it was just like a smell that I just couldn't get away from for like weeks while we were dealing with it. And we had to help that lady move out too. Like that was just
That was horrible.
That was like traumatizing. That was just traumatizing.
You'll get mad and yell
Ken,
at
do you have any stories that doesn't involve any human, sex stuff?
PCs.
Mines are usually just scares and people breaking and stealing. It's like when we work flips, I mean, people would steal the copper like repeatedly on the house. One house, I think got stolen 3 times. Just in like once in the basement, 3 times. Like the tools, it's like more stuff. All of this like definitely to be expected.
Yeah, back when there was like a lot of REOs going on, short sales, people were getting kicked out the house. You had the evict them, sheriff lockout, like the whole mess. Like I sold probably, I don't know, I think I've sold like 60 REOs, representing buyers. So we see everything when you're touring homes. I've seen crackheads in there like smoking up. I walked into like 2 homes where like there's a decapitated cat, which is freaking gross, called animal control right away. See homes where like copper being stolen is a pretty common occurrence because people resell that for money. Cabinets being ripped off, the toilets with oh yeah, Crystal, we had that property that we listed together. Yeah, it's on poured concrete, really spiteful tenants, right? I think poured concrete down the drain. Luckily, it didn't go too far, but when people are angry, they do crazy stuff.
Yeah, there's all types of things.
Well, Sherry asked, well, let's wrap this up. Well, what's one of the biggest lessons you guys have learned as an investor?
I have mentors. I mean, if I would have went this with no mentors, it would have been 10 times harder. So the fact that I have mentors, I have people to guide me, really helps me.
Biggest lesson I would say is whatever you invest in, don't make sure that you're not investing in buying yourself another job, right? I think each and every single one of us, we're very good agents. That's where the bulk of our money is. But the moment you take us out of the equation and you like, oh, I'm gonna open up. So the first thing is my first cafe. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna open up this cafe. It's gonna do so well. I didn't lose my money because we ended up selling it, but I wasted a year of my life. I learned a lot, so I don't think of it like a waste. But dude, I could have been selling. I would have been in Oakland with Kenny selling more real estate, right? Like, but that year, I was like 14, 15-hour days, running the Airbnb, running the cafe downstairs. Like, so whatever you invest in, make sure that it's big enough to support you. It ain't gonna take up all your time, unless you want it to.
Yeah, we had what was I doing? I did another webinar. Oh, it was team building. We did a team building webinar earlier, talking about growing teams. Like people want to scale up and grow big and diversify, have a team and them selling stuff. But if you're spending all that time hiring and paying for an assistant, you need to do more deals just to break even assistant. And then it doesn't even make sense to do that unless you do more deals, cover that, and make profit. So I think as people diversify, like you say, you don't want to give yourself another job. I've seen. We work with a lot of landlords, and most of them are very stressed out. It's only the ones that are like full-time landlords that are really, I feel, are the most profitable. But you guys can comment on that. Like a lot of us, you guys are more like newer landlords.
I mean, you all got to start somewhere, right? You can't go and buy 20 units, 15 units, especially not here. Maybe somewhere else, but not here. So I think when it comes to like real estate investing, right? Make sure it's a good property. Because when I hear investing, I think of a bunch of other crap, right? But when it comes to real estate, make sure, get a mentor, right? Make sure you do your inspection. Make sure it's a good property. Make sure you fix all the little stuff before you put renters in there, and don't fix it with some cheap crap. Put some good Delta, so that the faucets don't always break. Put good LED lights in there so the bulbs don't always go out. Because trust me, if you're going to be investing in the hood too, they will call you to change one light bulb. I promise you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be like, my lights don't work.
Another really great question came in from Gary Mann. You guys can just go one by one. What's the biggest return you've had on one investment property and your biggest loss?
I have a mentor, so my losses aren't really there as much as everybody else. Our biggest gain was, got it for $4 and we sold it for $550. Just cleaned it up.
Made like 3 on it before. I was like the most. We haven't lost any money. We're fortunate.
I got one. I flipped a house a couple years ago. went to listing appointment. She had the short sale, so went back and offered to buy it. I bought that property. I borrowed 100 grand from a friend. I was all in for about 20 grand, did the repairs. So none of my own money. And I made 100 grand on that deal within like 5 months. So low risk wasn't my money. So I thought that was a pretty cool one. And no losses since I haven't invested in any properties. How about you, Crystal?
My best one was like 2 years ago, this commercial property in Pleasanton. I probably only put like 30 grand into it and got back 180. A huge win. But then from that property, I got into this property in Danville where I lost my ass last year. Yeah, probably lost like 60 or 70 grand and put in like 100 grand.
We're going to talk about flips. So my business partner Alex and I, we flipped one in Bernal. We picked it up for 980. Yeah, 980. We put in about 250 and we sold it for 165. So we walked away about 200 grand each. That was a good one. But again, we don't flip a lot. We flip maybe one good property a year because again, we don't want to buy ourselves another job. So with one project, we can kind of, one good crew, check on upon them daily. He goes one day, I'll go one day, and it's easy to run. So that was a good one. But I would say, like, as far as business goes, I would say my virtual assistant company was the best company I've ever started. $40,000 startup cost, and it wasn't 40 grand at once. It was like to cover the payroll. And today we're making way more than that. So it's like 40 grand, and it's every month now. So
for the flipping part, like for a lot of first-time flippers or investors, they really should hire an agent early on, give some advice. Like I can remember that me and Ken worked with a couple of sellers when we were at Climb. Like one was in El Cerrito on Seaview, and then there was on Magellan. Like because they didn't consult with agents, they made poor like design decisions, and they barely broke even on those deals. And that was like both of those deals are like in 900 to 1.2, 1.3 range. So people are investing like $1 million and not making any money. So as a new investment, you need to get some professional expertise on that.
And know your numbers.
Don't try to make it your home when you're working on investment property.
Huge tip. Don't design it because you like it. Just go boring. Go what's popular, right? And then
unless you're Wendy Storch. Wendy Storch out here in San Francisco, Sotheby's. I mean, she does a super unique design on every single one of her listings. And like, she works with her developers and stuff like that early on, and they come out like they're like unique, but they are beautiful. But that's not everybody. Otherwise, paint your walls white. Go with the 7-inch or 8-inch wide plank, white oak, and Thermador appliances, and just be good.
Ken, biggest investment or loss?
Not really a lot of investment. One flip, we $1,000 in like 3 months. And that's at the end of it a waste of time, but it's better than money. We made 100 on one flip.
Cool. Well, any last words before we wrap this up?
Dewey said, "I want a fast car like Brian and Kenny." Dewey, do it, brother.
Dewey got a STI.
Go sell some deals. Oh yeah, you got a fast car.
Jerry got a Tesla Model 3. Crystal has a SQ5. Brian has a Ferrari 458. I have a Corvette Z06, Z07. Ken, you have a GS?
You have a
Oh,
Tesla?
you got a Tesla.
Oh, you bought a Tesla? Wow, okay. You guys have all new cars. That Compass marketing bonus. Man.
Hey, they made it.
All right, guys. All right, we'll wrap this up. There will be this will be recorded, so we'll upload it. And if you guys can catch us tomorrow, we're doing a couple more. We have a Contra Costa Mastermind. We have a pretty cool one I'm excited about, a 10-year market shift talk with people who's been in business a long time. Stephanie Forham just reached out to me. A lot of you guys don't know who Stephanie Forham is. She was off the scene before you guys, like really, really active before you guys got in business. She has sold almost 1,000 homes. I think I talked to her earlier, about 950. She was like big in the REO game. So if REOs are coming back, you guys want to tune in and hear what that's like. And Crystal, are BPOs up, or have you get more assignments?
Yeah, I've been getting some BPO requests like once a month over the last several months. So
For people who don't know, BPO is broker price opinion. It's like a really quick, easy, fast appraisal. And when REO properties, foreclosure properties are coming, they would hire third-party agents to do a lot of those. So you see BPOs go up, REOs are up. Cool. Well, thank you for your time, everyone.
Peace.
guys,
All right.
yeah.
Hey, see you guys.
Enjoyed it.